A 2-week survey of Lake George has discovered new infestations of Asian clam. There are now 13 confirmed sites in the lake, including Million Dollar Beach, which is the most popular beach at the southernmost end of the lake in the village of Lake George. Scientists who thought they were successfully smothering most of the clams with large plastic mats say the new discoveries raise a number of questions.
We're learning that we don't think we can detect the smaller stages, so the juveniles of the Asian clam. Where we find them and we're matting them, we're having really great success at being able to kill them or eliminate them from those areas. But they're showing up in new spots, and how they're getting there is a question. If they're moving with the current, they could be attaching to anchors, and people do anchor in multiple places around Lake George. That could be a way by which they're moving around the lake.
And for the first time, the clams have been found much farther north in the hamlet of Glen Burnie at a private boat launch in the town of Putnam in the northern neck of the lake, which shows the invasive species is moving closer to the Lachute River, which flows directly into Lake Champlain.
But eventually, with the current flow, Asian clam would naturally come into Lake Champlain.
And how problematic would that be to have Asian clam introduced to Lake Champlain?
That is a $1 million plus question. We don't know the answer to that question. I think there are plenty of places in Lake Champlain that would provide really suitable, in fact, desired habitat for Asian clam. Our classic concerns are similar to Lake George, where they're going to outcompete native species, so that would be very unfortunate.
So far, monitoring on Lake Champlain hasn't detected any Asian clams or spiny water fleas, which infested Lake George last year. But the scientists worry it may only be a matter of time.
So the primary concern would be if Asian clam come from Lake George into Lake Champlain that are both heavily used by anglers and recreationists, that they could be transported to other inland water bodies in the Adirondacks and in Vermont and the rest of the region. And we don't have boat launch steward programs on every lake, so there is that risk of that species spreading to inland water bodies that don't have invasive species.
Asian clams were first found in Lake George 3 years ago. More than $1.5 million has been spent so far trying to eradicate them. And now scientists say they'll have to come up with a new plan on how to treat the newly discovered colonies.